Are you feeling that familiar tremor, Leafs Nation? That restless, almost anxious energy that only an NHL offseason can bring? Because right now, as the dog days of summer give way to the crisp anticipation of autumn, the Toronto Maple Leafs are a team on the precipice, a swirling vortex of whispers and possibilities. After a flurry of activity that has already reshaped their roster, the question isn't if more changes are coming, but when, and more importantly, what kind of seismic shifts will truly define Brad Treliving's first full offseason at the helm. For weeks, the hockey world has been watching intently, dissecting every move the Maple Leafs have made. But as the calendar pages turn towards training camp, a powerful consensus is emerging from the most trusted voices in the game. Toronto's work is far from over. NHL insider Nick Kypreos of Sportsnet has been unequivocal, stating his belief that the Maple Leafs are poised to make more significant moves before opening night. And his sentiment is echoed by the ever-insightful Elliotte Friedman, who, on his renowned 32 Thoughts podcast, remarked, "I definitely think the Maple Leafs have their work to do here, and I don't know what their timeline is. But nobody expects them not to do things before the puck drops, that's for sure." This isn't just speculation. It's a clear signal from those with their fingers firmly on the pulse of the league. The quiet hum of the offseason is about to become a roaring engine of change. So, what exactly does this work to do entail for the Maple Leafs? It's a two-pronged attack, subtraction and addition. On one hand, Toronto could look to shed salary and clear roster space by trading away players like Calle Jarnkrok, Nick Robertson, and David Kampf. On the other, and perhaps more crucially, they are actively seeking to add another top-six winger, a critical piece to bolster their offensive firepower. General Manager Brad Treliving himself has been remarkably transparent about this need. On July 1st, he unequivocally stated, "Mitch was a top-six forward, and we haven't replaced that hole. That's really where our focus is." This isn't just a casual acknowledgement, it's a declaration of intent, a clear roadmap for the remainder of the summer. The void left by Mitch Marner, a player who consistently produced at an elite level, looms large, and Treliving knows it must be addressed. Whether that solution comes via trade or free agency remains to be seen, but the urgency is undeniable. The Maple Leafs simply must add another scorer to elevate their offense to championship contention. Let's delve into the intricate dance of subtraction, where the Maple Leafs are attempting to create the necessary cap space and roster flexibility for those crucial additions. At the forefront of these discussions is young forward Nick Robertson. Despite settling on a one-year, $1.825 million deal to avoid arbitration, Robertson's name has persistently surfaced in trade rumors. And the most intriguing link? The Pittsburgh Penguins. It's a connection that makes immediate sense, given Penguins' general manager Kyle Dubas's intimate familiarity with Robertson from his tenure in Toronto. Friedman himself highlighted this possibility, noting, "I'm assuming things are going to heat up later in the summer at some point. In all these particular situations, I had some people ask me about the possibility of Nick Robertson and Pittsburgh. Obviously, Kyle Dubas knows him. They got the arbitration settled on Saturday at $1.825 million. They've got to clear some bodies there. They've got a lot of them." Robertson, at just 22 years old, still possesses tantalizing potential. Last season, he recorded 15 goals and 7 assists for 22 points in 69 games, showcasing flashes of the elite shot and offensive instincts that made him a highly touted prospect. However, his NHL career has been plagued by injuries, preventing him from truly establishing himself as a consistent everyday player. For the Maple Leafs, trading Robertson would not only free up cap space, but also open a roster spot, allowing them to bring in a more established top-six winger or provide opportunities for other prospects. For the Penguins, Robertson represents a low-cost, high-upside gamble, a player who, under the right circumstances and with a fresh start, could finally unlock his full potential. Dubas's knowledge of Robertson's character and skill set makes Pittsburgh a logical and perhaps even eager suitor. The question is, what would the Maple Leafs demand in return for a player they still clearly value, even if they're willing to move on? While Robertson's trade market seems to be simmering, the situation surrounding Calle Jarnkrok is proving to be a far more challenging puzzle for the Maple Leafs front office. Both Jarnkrok and David Kampf were considered potential buyout candidates earlier in the offseason, a clear indication of Toronto's desire to create financial breathing room. However, the team ultimately opted against buyouts, leaving them in a tricky position. They now actively seek to trade Jarnkrok, but as NHL insider David Pagnotta revealed, the market for the veteran forward has been anything but vibrant. Pagnotta wrote, "As the Leafs try to shed salary and create roster space for other moves, Jarnkrok joins Kampf and Robertson on the summer trade watch list. He has a $2.1 million cap hit and owns a 10-team no-trade list. The market hasn't been vibrant to this point, but the Leafs will continue to dangle him." Jarnkrok is entering the final year of a 4-year, $8.4 million deal, and with the additions made this offseason, his path to consistent playing time is far from clear. His $2.1 million cap hit, while not exorbitant, is a significant hurdle for teams already navigating a tight salary cap landscape. Furthermore, his 10-team no-trade list limits the potential destinations, giving him some control over his future. The lack of interest in Jarnkrok highlights the difficulty of moving players purely for cap relief, especially those with limited offensive upside and a no-trade clause. This situation puts Treliving in a bind. He needs to move Jarnkrok to free up space, but without a robust market, he might be forced to either retain salary in a trade, which defeats some of the purpose, or simply keep him on a roster, further complicating their cap situation. The pressure to find a solution for Jarnkrok is mounting, as every dollar counts in their pursuit of that elusive top-six winger. Speaking of that top-six winger, the Maple Leafs' pursuit is a high-stakes game of chess, made even more complex by their limited financial flexibility. With just under $2 million in cap space, every potential addition must be meticulously calculated. The team has already added valuable depth pieces this offseason, but as Treliving rightly pointed out, the top-six hole left by Marner remains unfilled. One name that has consistently been linked to Toronto in free agency is Jack Roslovic. The skilled forward remains unsigned, and his offensive capabilities could certainly help fill that void. However, signing Roslovic would likely consume the majority, if not all, of their remaining cap space, leaving little room for error or further adjustments. This tight cap situation underscores why the Maple Leafs are so keen on moving players like Robertson and Jarnkrok. Every dollar saved is a dollar that can be reinvested into a player who can make an immediate impact in their top six. The challenge for Treliving is to find the perfect balance. A player who fits their system, provides the necessary scoring punch, and can be acquired within their stringent financial parameters. This isn't just about adding a body. It's about adding the right body, a player who can seamlessly integrate into a lineup featuring superstars like Austin Matthews and William Nylander and elevate their collective performance. The clock is ticking, and the pressure to make the right move is immense. So, as we stand on the cusp of a new NHL season, the Toronto Maple Leafs are a fascinating study in strategic maneuvering. Will Brad Treliving successfully navigate the treacherous waters of the salary cap, finding willing trade partners for players like Robertson and Jarnkrok, and ultimately landing that coveted top-six winger? Or will the complexities of the market, coupled with their limited cap space, force them to enter the season with an unaddressed hole in their lineup? The answers to these questions will undoubtedly shape the narrative of the Maple Leaf season, determining whether they can truly contend for the Stanley Cup or if they'll once again fall short of their lofty aspirations. The anticipation is almost unbearable, isn't it? What are your predictions, Leafs Nation? Do you believe Treliving will pull off the necessary moves? Who would you target as the ideal top-six winger, and which players would you be willing to part with to make it happen? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. If you're as pumped as we are for what promises to be a thrilling conclusion to the offseason, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a single update as the Maple Leafs prepare for puck drop.